Hi, this is Ruth Theresa with One Inspiring Woman, and today I'm answering a Dear Ruth Theresa question. So today I'm answering some questions about angel cards. I love angel cards. I do not use them for my regular readings unless my client requests them. So I kind of just do it for me. So this is my favorite deck. And if you've been around me, you know this is my favorite deck. I've used this for many, many years. I hate to tell you how many years. I know it's over 20. But you can see by the images that the edges are fraying a little bit. There's a couple of corners that are ends that are messed up a little bit. And the reason why you want to be careful about the edges and the corners is because they can really show you, like if you knew, like this one has a messed up corner. If I really wanted this card to come up and I was like, oh, I know that that corner is messed up on this card, I would, you know what I'm saying, be able to pull that out even if it's not the card that's trying to give me the information at the time. I maybe feel like I just know that that's my card and I'm going to pull it out, even though that's not the one I really need to be getting the information from. So this is my new deck. And you can see that the edges are really nice and clean and crisp, that sort of thing. So one of my things that I normally do is I clear the deck as soon as I get it, and I clear the decks very often. And if someone touches my decks, angel card decks that are my personal decks, I will clear them as soon as I go back into that area. So I literally use them a lot. So this is my new deck. And one of my absolute trade secrets is I absolutely love buy an extra deck. If you find a deck that you really resonate with, oh my gosh, save yourself so much heartache and pain over this and get it. When I purchased this over 20 years ago, I never even considered the idea of having an extra deck. I was like, I've got one angel card deck. I've got all the things I need. Well, the problem is, like I said, the edges start to fray over time. Even if you're very careful, they start to fray over time. And it's one of those, you may want another deck. So that's why I have my new set that I'm falling in love with and a new set of angel cards. This is still in the packaging from the website that I purchased them from. I will leave them like this and just set them aside. I will not touch them unless something happens to my original deck. It's really important that you are kind of maintaining your decks, but also make sure that you have extras. If you really, really, really love a deck, buy a couple of extra. It's one of those, it's really not that expensive. Not that you need to buy them like full price. Sometimes I wait till there's a sale on or something like that, or there's a discount. But I will tell you, having extra decks make you kind of feel like, so if something happens to my favorite deck, I still have another favorite deck that I can use. That can really help. One of the things that I love about my decks is, let me show you what this one is. This one has, I don't even know how many cards in it. It's not a big deck. This is an oracle deck. And so this is a like a deck that I use for my classroom. And this is a tarot deck. It's much thicker. I have small hands and it doesn't work for me. So I don't use tarot decks for that reason in particular, is because they're so thick. It makes it very, very difficult to use that with them. I try not to. I try to avoid them just because of that, of the thickness of it. That's one of my trade secrets, is kind of like use things that work well with you and try to maintain those edges. My next one is, out of this deck, this is the booklet that goes with it. If there's a deck that I really, really love, I will literally open this up and I will take images with my cell phone and save it, because sometimes when you get older decks, sometimes they don't have the original instruction. So I usually do this if I really fall in love with the deck and I'm like, I really want to keep this deck. I will take pictures of it and I will just put it off in a folder all by itself on my computer and just leave it there. So if I require them in the future, I can print them out or use them again somewhere else. Like I said, angel cards are something that not everybody uses. Not everybody has to use them. Not everybody wants to use them. Not everybody's drawn to them like me. So it's one of those, it's something to be careful about. If you use angel card decks, make sure that you use these kind of like 4 or 5 different things to keep in mind, because this is really important. Edges. Be careful who touches your deck. Clearing your decks often and then getting extra decks is probably my number 4 ways to use angel cards. If you really use them a lot, these are some great ways to use them very well and also enjoy them for a long time to come, because usually once you get that deck, you really don't want to get rid of it. You really fall in love with it. So I'm going to pull my favorite angel card deck. And let's pull some angel cards for angel cards. This is kind of interesting. Angel cards for angel cards. Serenity. If you do what I've asked you to do, if you maintain the edges, be careful who touches it, clearing your decks and having extra decks, you are going to have complete security of like just serenity with it. Like I've got all of these. I do travel with my decks. If I go on vacation, my decks usually go with me so that I have them at any time if I require more information or to get information about things. Trust your decks. When you start using the same decks over and over, you get this personality with them. You get that information from them. So that's really important that you're maintaining that energy with them, that you're maintaining that connection with them. And that's why I don't let other people touch my decks, is because they're my personal decks. Now I have a class set and I use when I teach classes and students love them and borrow them and they're great. They're not my personal decks. My personal deck is only for me. Music. This is all about kind of like the balance and the harmony of it. When other people are touching your decks, it's one of those, it can really mess up the energy in it. And so sometimes I have to clear them, and sometimes I have to clear them really well, because it's not that person's energy was bad. It's just one of those, it's not the balance or the harmony that I really want on my decks. Signs. A lot of times people have signs when you're kind of like going through the decks of which ones you love or which ones you don't love. When you have signs that this is your favorite deck, get extra. Order 1 or 2 extra. It's one of those, the place where I normally buy mine is hayhouse.com. Hayhouse.com is one of my favorite go-to places. And they had a sale on this set the other day. And I was like, oh, it's like $5 or $6 off. And so I was like, it's a great sale. Let me get an extra set for myself and store it away so I can use it another day. So I don't have to worry about it. Balance. I think there is a balance with angel cards. You can't just live your life talking to angel cards constantly. You have to live your life. And so that's kind of the balance of it, is you really have to find, like, when do you really have to get more information, or when should you, you know what I'm saying, like, when should you not? So it's kind of like, that's the balance of it. And the better connection you have with your angel card, sometimes I'll just be like, oh, I would have pulled this angel card. I know exactly what to do now. Focus. When I do angel cards, I focus on my cards. I don't do it while I'm doing anything else. I love focusing on my decks. I love focusing on the energy in the decks and really kind of moving through the deck. So I will shuffle for a really long time, usually 2 or 3 minutes before I start pulling cards, because I want to make sure that the energy is correct, the questions I'm asking the angel cards are correct, and that I'm coming through with the best information possible. Your cards are kind of like your soulmate. I mean, seriously, soulmate cards are amazing because it's like you are drawn to them. They're drawn to you. They're going to give you more information. The more connection you have with them, the more information that's going to be coming through. And that connection keeps that linkage to them. And so getting that information faster, quicker, easier can be amazing. Next one is answered prayers. I think most people have prayers about things that their angel cards could ask them. I really think this is an interesting one because when you're asking your angel card decks, when you're really getting those answered prayers, it can really push you in some new ways and some powerful ways. I think it's really powerful to have that connection with your angel card decks to get the information, to be able to ask the questions, getting that from your angels and guides, and what information are they telling you? What information do they want you to know at this time? That's the really fun, cool part, is that you can use these angel decks anytime you want, as much as you want, and come out with some amazing information. I thank you so much for joining me today, and I know that we'll be talking again soon.